Welcome back again to STL Live. I'm Andy Rizika. We're learning about responsible pet ownership with my guests, Animal Regulation Supervisor and Animal Cruelty Investigator Christian Meiser and Public Information Officer Kim Vandenberg. So again, Kim, can you tell me about, we're in the winter season here, and a lot of people, as we mentioned in the first segment, do kind of forget about taking care of their pets. You think about taking your pet on a trip, and you're like, okay, I can leave the pet in the car. Is that a good idea in the winter?
It's not a good idea in the winter. Similar to that is not a good idea in the summer. It's because, in the summertime, you have the car heating up. In the wintertime, it's actually the opposite. The car can cool down. It can hold that cold temperature that you have outside. And so in some ways, it can act almost like a refrigerator, which can be detrimental to the pet's health. And so it's important that if you are traveling, make sure that you have a place for your pet to go if you are going into a store. Some stores, for instance, like big box home improvement stores, do allow pets inside as long as they're properly maintained on a leash, pet friendly. But if you aren't going to be going someplace where you can take your animal in, please, it's best to leave it at home or leave it in the proper caretaker with a sitter or a family member who can then care for that animal.
Is it a problem when people own too many pets too? What happens there when you guys get involved?
It is. Here in the city, we do have an ordinance that only allows 4 pets per parcel. And that includes dogs, cats, and you are allowed to have up to 1 potbelly pig. And so if you have more pets per parcel, then the owners are asked to rehome pets until they're down to that limit.
I'm surprised people own pigs in the city. I might be kind of upset if I hear ring, ring, and I'm trying to sleep, but...
we have several citizens out there that have them and take great care of them.
Oh, okay, good. Good to hear. Yeah. Otherwise, I know you'll be at the doorstep.
Having a conversation, yep.
So, you're the one showing up to the doorstep.
Yeah.
Is it a difficult job having to go in and try and help people take care of their pets right?
It can be, yeah. Again, these animals are family members to many of these folks, and their thought process of what is okay for this animal may not align with what the law says. So having to go in and have that conversation with them that we might need to make some changes for the betterment of this animal, it can be difficult, but we do our best.
And so, you probably go through a lot of training.
Yes.
For different styles of animals. Can you tell me a bit about how you prepare to come into a situation where maybe a dog or it may be a raccoon?
All of our training kind of teaches us a little bit about everything. Of course, in the city here, we focus on domesticated dogs and cats because that's the majority of what we deal with. But we do encounter wildlife and certain exotic animals. And there, again, is a lot of continuing education that we receive to be able to handle them properly and provide them, if we do have to bring them into our shelter, the proper care they need.
Kim, so can you tell me any tips maybe that someone looking to purchase a new animal can help them be a more responsible pet owner right off the bat?
Sure. Well, you said purchase. We always want to encourage people to consider adoption. There are many wonderful shelters here in the St. Louis community, including our own city shelter, which is currently managed by a group called Center for Animal Rescue and Enrichment, STL. And so that helps. If they're able to adopt from shelters like that, it helps us then better care for other animals that need to come into a temporary home at the shelter. And so reaching out to those shelters, asking them what can we do to help adopt or even foster. If you don't want to commit to adoption, consider fostering because that helps an animal get into a home, learn about being in a home setting before they're eventually adopted. Other things, make sure you have, the proper provisions, a leash, adequate shelter if your dog is going to be outside at all, especially during the winter and summer months. Making sure that you have an established vet or a clinic where you can get vaccines up to date. And the biggest thing is if you ever have any concerns about a pet in the community, whether it's a neighbor or someone you see on your way to work, it's very important to contact the Citizen Service Bureau, 622-4800. They are going to be the connection to be able to have those requests go to our animal control officers, and then they can help educate and investigate any episodes that need to be
And cleaning up those feces, right?
Yes, yes, it's important if dogs need to be walked. Dogs need to be walked, and so it's important to carry old grocery bags or a poop waste bag container to be able to collect that feces.
Well, so much good information there. I hope St. Louis takes note of all the stuff. Otherwise, they'll see you on their doorstep. And if you're a good owner, shouldn't need the health department coming after you. So the Department of Health seeks to ensure the health and safety of St. Louis city residents and their companion animals through the enforcement of pet-related ordinances and the promotion of pet safety and responsible pet ownership. To learn more about responsible pet ownership, visit stlouis-mo.gov/health. There's more STL Live right after this, so stay tuned.